Good evening. I'm Johan Hutting, and welcome to PMR Africa's podcast tonight, PMR Global, where we celebrate excellence and acknowledge teams across various industry sectors. We began this initiative as an extension of our various PMR platforms. Our web address is www.pmrafrica.com, and the magazine is freely available on the World Wide Web. PMR Africa includes a magazine, a research division, an events division, and most recently, the podcast initiative. PMR Africa works nationally in South Africa and throughout the SADC region. That's the South African Development Community. And we are honored to have Ilke Platt as our guest tonight. Ilke is a founder of Poiyah Media in Namibia. Ilke all the way from Windhoek in Namibia. Ilke, welcome and thank you for joining us on this podcast episode. We appreciate your time and your willingness to participate tonight. Welcome.
You are so welcome, Johan. Thank you so much, and thanks for everyone watching online. It's good to be premiered on this global channel. So thank you so much to you and the team behind the scenes.
Thank you. Ilke, tell us a little bit about yourself, your story. Where do you come from? Where did you grow up? Your childhood days? It seems as if we've lost Ilke for a moment there. Ilke, are you there? Ilke, are you there? Can you hear me?
Johan, I am here. Are you still there?
I can hear you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. I told you prior the past couple of days we've been having some network issues, but hopefully that's not going to stand in the way.
No, sure. I'm not sure if you heard my question. Where I ask you to tell us a little bit about yourself, your story. Where do you come from? Where did you grow up, and your childhood days? Just give us a brief overview.
Great stuff, Johan. I'm still very young. So I'll only take 2 minutes to give the background. I'm turning 40 this year, so 4 decades. At the young, tender age of 4, my family and I moved to the US of A. My dad was a reverend and did his studies at the university of the Hebrew Union College. So from 4 up until, let's say, 11, did my primary school in the States, came back to Namibia, attended the international school, then the University of Namibia, which I'm still at. In between that time, I started radio, television, acting, music. What else have I done in my 4 decades? But apart from that, I've been in corporate, Johan. And I think our first engagement was when I worked at Sanlam, Namibia, at one of the first events that I attended. I then later moved to Old Mutual, serving in the marketing and comms managerial position that side. And 9 years ago, I decided to jump boat. I started to do what you've been doing all this time. And we're going to speak about the entrepreneurial journey in a second. But I do have 2 sons. And that's the name of the company, Poiyah, Popieni, and Oya, that's watching as well. So shout out to my sons and Auntie Joey. So that's where the company's name derives from.
Okay. What would you say? What's the most important attributes of a successful business leader today? There are many challenges. So what would you say? What's the most important attributes?
Empathy. It's all about relationships, understanding. We can have these different characteristics of being a strong leader, influential leader, someone that has influence. But I think if you don't speak to the heart of the people and have that empathy, all those characteristics go to waste, Johan. And you and I can attest that it's about that intentional relations that you create with meaning, genuine, authentic characteristics of a leader in the industry.
Yeah, and that's also, I suppose, part of your leadership philosophy.
Yeah, spot
Yeah,
on. Spot
yeah.
on.
And then you touched on that. Can you tell us a little bit more about Poiyah Media, the background, development, and current status?
Great. So 9 years, by God's grace, Johan, we're still in business. We have gone through COVID. We tested the waterproof, era. We established ourselves in 2017, and specifically to cater to SMEs, to startups, those that are just starting in the industry, to develop their PR model, to get them out there noticed and to give them return. On business, our ROI. So when we started up, it was in terms of saying, how do we assist a market that needs help? Many startups don't have a fully fledged PR team; they're just starting out, but they need the basics to be known and be heard. And it's selecting those clients that have the real why story, the real purpose. So in 2017, started up with that business model. It's still pushing 9 years throughout, and also hand in hand, assisting interns. And for us, it's been a philosophy by saying, how do we allow the final year students also getting that practical experience so that when they graduate, they have that experience getting their first foot through the first job?
Yeah, yeah. And if you look at the specific, the brand, the Poiyah Media brand, what does it represent?
I would love for it to represent purpose. So when you see anything put out by Poya Media, not just from events management point of view, not just PR, but when something is communicated, it has to have impact, and it's telling those stories of relevance. So be it any single sector, any industry, Johan, from oil and gas to beauty to business to ESG to anything, as long as there's purpose. That's what Poya Media stands for, to allow society, communities, not only that globally, for an important message to be heard by the masses.
And what would you say? What's unique about Poiyah Media?
Not only just a Namibian context,
If you compare
we're
yourself with all
versatile.
the others out there, what is unique about Poiyah Media?
We're versatile in terms of hearing the client's needs, especially the startups. Right now, I can say that various bigger industries or those agencies has a one kind of one stop kind of approach, but we're flexible. We attend to the needs of the clients. I think what also sets us apart is especially that relationship that we built throughout the years, especially in terms of the media footprint. We say our job is only as good as the relationship that we have with the
Yeah,
PR media
true.
industry. And for that, I think
Very,
after 2 decades, that's something that's the backbone, which
yeah,
sets us apart from the rest.
yeah, true. Um, Ilke, we're going to go for a quick ad break and then we'll be back. Thank you.
All right.
Hi, I'm Kobe Potgieter from Remax Independent Properties here in Gqeberha. The one thing that makes our office unique at Remax Independent, we're not only the #1 real estate office in the Eastern Cape, we are also the company with the best culture, working environment in place where agents grow. I think it's important that we look at a holistic development for our agents to make them feel appreciated, to enable them then to go into the Eastern Cape where they can carry over the spirit of Ubuntu. We operate across all major real estate sectors, including real estate sales, rentals, commercial, as well as agriculture. We proudly service a significant portion of the Gqeberha property market, representing approximately 30% of total market activity. Our success is built on strong leadership, exceptional service delivery, and a team of driven professionals who put people first. You are in expert hands, and we pride ourselves for the service excellence that we deliver every day.
And we're back. Ilke, to
We're
continue
live.
to continue our conversation, what does innovation mean to the company, to you and to the company?
Innovation, that word is loosely used. I think innovation, everybody's using that word innovation because everybody wants to be innovative. Johan, when I look at you and you're doing everything that you've been doing, innovation for me means that you are still relevant, right? And innovation needs to fit your business model. And therefore, when we say innovation, innovation needs to adapt with also your kind of clientele. But in general, innovation is staying with the times, being relevant, and also allowing your business model to stay the test of time.
Yeah, very true. To create trust in the abilities of a company, what would you like to communicate to existing and potential customers, as well as role players and stakeholders?
Thanks for that question, Johan. It's like, also that free kind of, advert space. But I think it's always important to relay that message that the long-term approach for stakeholders, customers is always ideal. My team and I, we always sit around the boardroom table, and when we see clients come and go, it's by saying that it's having a relationship up until the test of time. Even if you're not directly involved, but being present, being involved, being there when the clients need it. And I think in terms of stakeholders, it's always continuing that end of customer satisfaction, always going above and beyond, to have that mutual, let's say, checklist that both
Yeah,
parties are happy and satisfied.
yeah. And what would you say, on which core values do you manage Poiyah Media?
So ours are all over our pull-up banners. Tip, very easy to remember. T for teamwork, I for integrity, so important, and P for personal accountability. Those three. It's the only tip.
Yeah, yeah. Um, if you can tell us a little bit about Poiyah Media's offerings and services, if you can elaborate on that, please.
Great stuff for those watching abroad, globally, and that's why I appreciate this platform, Johan. So we specialize in public relations communications, but as you know, we expand with the times. We try to offer that one-stop shop for the client so they don't have to go everywhere, but also events management. In terms of stakeholder relations, we develop, design corporate social responsibility programs. The list goes on. We are expanding into a multimedia agency when it comes to now exactly such platforms. When you ask me about innovation, how do we facilitate these innovative platforms on behalf of clients? So we also have our whole, fully fledged multimedia team when it comes to staying relevant with the platforms on the communication channels.
Yeah, and even if you're based in Windhoek, you can still assist. You can still assist companies in South Africa and other countries of the SADC region. Eh?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And our
Yeah,
footprint has gone beyond, the Namibian borders,
yeah,
Botswana, Zimbabwe, South Africa. And that's the beauty about online. You can reach the masses and you can still have the same impact from a screen away.
yeah. If we look at sustainable development, it's also people talk a lot about sustainable development. And how do you ensure good sustainable development practices?
Yeah. And even if it's not directly, within Poiyah Media, obviously it starts in-house. But if you have a look at all of the clients that we do serve, when we resonate with the same brands, we have clients such as Monasa Advisory Associates. We have those leading in the industry in terms of sustainable development goals too. How do we align everything that we do? But I think just to put the cherry on the top, Johan, is by saying, how do we facilitate that communication to enhance and enforce those sustainable goals?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, if we look at Poiyah Media, what systems have you put in place to manage the company as a world-class institution?
We think on the grassroots level, but we also act globally. And I think that's very important. So the very thing that makes us unique, we should never forget that. But also it's being global as well, being versatile. And like you said before, nowadays you can do anything, online and also have the same footprint beyond. So that's why for us, it's about being relevant on such platforms. PMR is a fabulous, fantastic example of that, as we're living in the moment as well. So that's why it's also being in the spaces that occupy that global voice.
Yeah. And something that links up to that is how can you develop Namibia's corporate competitiveness globally? How can you fit into that and enhance that?
Find yourself in the global rooms. So strategically place yourself. Johan, we have phone books, and I tell my team every single day, if you don't allow that phone book to enlarge your territory, meaning beyond the borders, I think that contact remains just that. So finding the relevance in terms of making use of the network that you're exposed to. Yeah, many times we do attend events, but we should also be selective in terms of where we find ourselves and how we convert those network platforms. So yes,
Sure.
visibility is very important, but
Yeah.
selective visibility on platforms
Yeah.
that benefit you and your ultimate goals.
Yeah, correct. If we look at the world today, one must have the ability to deal with the unexpected from day to day.
Oh
If you look at what's going on in the world, the Middle East and other parts of the world. So how do you deal with the unexpected? We live in what I say, a VUCA world. Sure, that's for, if we look at volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity, how do you deal with the unexpected?
yeah. Many times you can't prepare for unexpected moments. However, it's being able to adapt, right, Johan? And when I can take it back a step further, PR crisis management, that's exactly what we look at. We look at the foreseeable, unpredicted circumstances that we might find ourselves in. If we speak about COVID today, did we expect that? No, we didn't expect that at all. But did we have to adapt during the times? Yes, we did. And immediately it's falling down from an airplane and having to build that, parachute, they say, in real time. So I think the key thing to that, Johan, is being adaptable and also asking yourself that question every single day. And I ask myself that question: where will Poiyah Media be in the next 5 to 10 years? Are we still going to be doing the same things? Are we still going to be relevant? Are these the platforms that people are still going to be listening to conversations? So for us, in terms of adapting to the unexpected, even changes in the times, we need to have a gear of adapting. And not only that, making sure that we try out things that will also change a business model. This is now in terms of the organization. So don't be scared to try new avenues. I think that's also preparing for the unexpected, because when we
Yeah,
know something, we get comfortable. We don't want to
yeah,
change. We don't want to move.
yeah,
But ultimately, unexpected events, it takes a lot of bravery. So yes, have an open mind to also embrace and adapt.
yeah, yeah. Um, and for your company, how do you ensure good corporate governance, but also for clients that you work with? How do you ensure that also they, apply good corporate governance?
Mm. Number one, Johan, ethics is number one. We go through this whole filter process as much as you have clients coming to you. It's alignment and discernment. Both go hand in hand. That's good corporate governance. And remember, in the PR field, it's also vetting a lot. Does this client or this organization also represent your common practices, which is very important. So the filter process, number one, is the first step for good corporate governance, and also monitoring those clients that you do onboard and associate with your brand.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, what is your company doing to improve the quality of life of communities in Namibia in terms of poverty alleviation, fighting HIV and AIDS, and other socioeconomic issues?
Yeah. And once again, it's also, about the social goals. Every client that we work alongside, for example, our medical doctors, we've started with them ever since the establishment of the company, National Medical Practice, OB-GYN, to mention a few. It's also being part of organizations that alleviate exactly what you mentioned, be it poverty, be it HIV AIDS, and especially when it comes to the women reproductive system, sharing that information in terms of the mobile clinics that our doctors are currently, facilitating throughout the country. So being part of that narrative, making sure that the communication goes out and the community members receive that information so that they can also benefit from the various offerings that the medical doctors do. So in terms of that, yes, we are assisting our clients that serve exactly that purpose.
Yeah. And what would you say? What's your vision for Poiyah Media?
Oh, wow. So we have a mission statement and we have a vision statement. However, for our vision, Johan, it's just to remain that preferred communications agency. When as per our slogan, which is word of mouth, that your work is as good as what people say. And having that vision in mind, if we can still be able to solve that problem in the market, we are happy. And that's our vision, to be relevant, to make sure that we are the preferred, communications agency that allows stories to meet the correct selected target market and to make that impact.
Yeah. When you hire a new employee, what would you say? What's the most important traits you're looking for when hiring a new person?
Personality and that will. Johan, you can have such credible, CVs in front of you. Personality and just having that ability to work. In any organization, there's a culture, right? And I think Poiyah Media has a distinctive culture. We're young, we're fresh. Well, I do believe that I'm still young, but the rest of my team are younger. But we look for that zest to work. Skills we can always train, but if you have that willingness to learn and that personality, that's the trait that really sets you above the rest. And the ability to be hungry, to want to learn. In this everyday growing age, Johan, it's like sometimes we feel overwhelmed by work, but again, work ethics is very strong for us too. I think we remain as a PMR Diamond Award recipient because of the work that we've done for the past 12 months. Yes, it's a lot, but at the end of the day, it's by saying that this is what we live for. This is what we live, eat, and drink, but still, allowing mental health within the organization. But we look for that character that it's willing to have that zest for working.
Yeah. What is the most important lesson or lessons that you've learned so far, like in business and personal life?
So I think in terms of business, never idle on comfortability. I think in the 9th year, we're being stretched in terms of growth, right? And sometimes we get comfortable where we are. My experience this far in terms of that from a business point of view is it's trying to adapt to the uncomfortability, but which allows you to go to that next level. In terms of the personal life, I think that's just in terms of the family unit setup, but I think it's the same as well. How do you also allow yourself to be present, in the moment? Everything that we're working for, Johan, is exactly for them, but also balancing that purpose on why you're doing what you're doing.
Excellent. Yeah. And Ilke, how do you see public relations evolving in Namibia and also in the world?
So about 15, 20, 23 years ago, if you would have asked me the same question, remember the PMR Awards, our guest speaker told us to travel how many years? So I'm traveling 23 years back. Would I have thought that, online phones are now the source of newspapers? No, because we were so strong and adamant that the print will be the way to go. And slowly but surely, in terms of statistics, we're seeing that that's, decreasing, not completely gone, but decreasing. We're seeing that, the usage of online it's exceeding. We're now on a PMR.GLOBAL chat platform because of the relevance. So I'm pretty sure that in the next couple of years with the PR platforms, we're going to have different platforms. We're going to have more platforms. But in the same, may I also say that as much as we might grow with AI technology, marketing tactics, or whatever it may be, we will still come to the same foundation of that human relations, right? Having that still connection with the audiences in an authentic way. So a lot of, fuzzy, beautiful stuff on the screens. I think things are going to be done easier. But again, we still need the people to feed this information, right? We still need the people to input our apps and put up these platforms. But I think it'll be beautiful. I think it'll be beautiful because we will now be able to also reach larger markets.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. No, excellent. Ilke, we're going to go for another quick ad break and then we'll be back.
Hi, I'm Poiyah Media from Remax Independent Properties here in Gqeberha. The one thing that makes our office unique at Remax Independent, we're not only the #1 real estate office in the Eastern Cape, we are also the company with the best culture, working environment in place where agents grow. I think it's important that we look at a holistic development for our agents to make them feel appreciated, to enable them then to go into the Eastern Cape where they can carry over the spirit of Ubuntu. We operate across all major real estate sectors, including real estate sales, rentals, commercial, as well as agriculture. We proudly service a significant portion of the Gqeberha property market, representing approximately 30% of total market activity. Our success is built on strong leadership, exceptional service delivery, and a team of driven professionals who put people first. You are in expert hands, and we pride ourselves for the service excellence that we deliver every day.
And we're back.
Yes, we are.
Ilke, just a couple of fun questions. What was your first job?
I was a telemarketer. You know what I used to do, Johan? I was still at school, by the way. I think this was after school. On top of the Avani building, there was a room just with telephones, and we would just call random numbers. You see how old school I am? We would go through the telephone directory and call numbers to sell products. That was my first job before radio and TV.
Excellent. What do you do for fun to relax when you can relax?
That's a very difficult question. You know, when you ask yourself, what relaxes you? But spending time with my sons. I know I do it during 24/7, but that's what relaxes me, spending time with family.
Excellent. And it's not going to be so secret anymore, but what's your secret talent?
My secret talent is that I don't know how to cook and bake.
So we will have to work on that.
What's a talent?
Yeah. And as a person, what legacy would you like to leave behind?
Wow.
And then also with that, what are you passionate about? What legacy would you like to leave behind, and what are you passionate about?
So number one, I just pray that, when I'm no longer around, that, I was able to bring those along with me on this journey that I'm still on. Meaning, whenever you find yourself somewhere, you uplift the next, be it in the PR space, be it women empowerment, be it, students or whatever it may be. I hope, Johan, that not anytime soon, if there are many around my my graveyard, that they would say, you know what, Ilke try to bring everybody with her. I hope they'll be able to say that. And what I'm really passionate about, I think, is sharing, sharing knowledge, sharing skills, sharing what I've already been through. I don't know it all, but what I have been through, I'm passionate about sharing that to the next. And not only that, allowing other people to understand their true potential, what they already have, but to poke them a little bit, and say, hey, you had it. You just needed somebody to show you.
So, yeah, excellent. Any other points that you would like to highlight?
I would just like to say thank you, Johan. If nobody has said it to you and the team, it's been 37 years that you've been doing this nonstop. And with the, times that are changing, you still remain relevant. You still remain impactful. So I just want to applaud you and the team, Sadia, Heinrich, and everyone. Thank you for these platforms. It really makes a difference in terms of our business models. So just a thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for your kind words. Thank you. Look, on that note, we conclude. Thank you for your time and your trouble. And thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you. You too. We made it without interruption.
No interruptions. Thank you.
Good night.
This brings us, good night. This brings us to the end of our episode tonight. Thank you, Ilke Platt, for participating in our episode. And when people are recognized and they feel connected and counted and they become passionate about their work, their life, and their purpose. And our mission remains to recognize excellence across Africa, honor high-performing teams, and establish benchmarks for organizational performance. Thank you and good night until the next time. Thank you.